Good evening, everyone, and welcome once again to Relationship Rehab, where we are making black love cool again. Ladies and gentlemen, we are elated tonight because it's a fellas' night tonight.
It's a fellas' night.
Fellas' night.
We're going to be talking about are you a good time or a long time? Or a good time or a long time. Either one, we'll explain in a minute. But listen, before we even get started, go ahead at this time and like, comment, share, so the algorithm can catch up and we can go ahead and get this thing rolling tonight. Remember, if you want to call in, Mike, can you put that call-in number up for him? If you want to call in, we have a call-in number. If you want to participate in the conversation, number is 832-975-1237. Feel free to call in if you want to jump in and interject. All right. So, salute to our ladies. Portia wasn't able to come tonight dealing with work. As you know, I'm an educator as well, but I don't go back until Thursday. Chanel is dealing with work as well, but it's also her birthday, so we want to say happy birthday to Chanel.
Happy birthday, Chanel.
Happy birthday, Chanel, not Chantel. Chanel.
My boy Mike.
Chanel.
Chantel. Now, if you notice, we have a new voice and a new face that is in here tonight. This is Michael Washington. Michael, you want to talk to the people, tell them about yourself?
Hello, I'm Mike Washington. I host a show called The Male Voice, where we speak directly to men about relationships, about fatherhood, about everything. We name it, we coin it. We talk about everything from politics to the pole dancing in the pulpit.
Oh, wow.
Everything. We talk about everything, from a male's point of view. And I have a new book coming out. It's called Flavor and Foreplay. It's coming out real soon.
Nice.
Okay. Now, if y'all don't know, but Mike is a self-proclaimed chef.
Oh,
so go and tell him about the book, man.
Hey,
it's
man,
your chance to plug it. Go on
I
and
get
tell
in
him
the
about
kitchen and I cook because I realize that cooking for someone is a love language.
Yeah.
And so in this book, there's a relationship that's happening. That's a budding relationship. They go to a restaurant and they don't like it. So therefore, he says, I can do better than this. She calls his bluff. Mm-hmm. Throughout the rest of the book, there's 5 or 6 recipes of him cooking for her, showing his love language. Throughout the book, it talks about different things that people do intentional. So planning dates are intentional. Cooking for someone is intentional. So being intentional as a man, not just going with the flow, not just wearing the seat off your pants, Yeah. So being intentional on that, go into a budding relationship. And I won't tell you the whole book, but it's a real good book. And it comes with a cookbook. I have a separate cookbook coming out. Sean makes fun of me because I cook. I cook.
No, I'm hating because I can't cook. That's what it really boils down to. Let's tell that story right.
Yeah, I cook and I love to cook. I cook everything from bologna sandwiches to what I call 5-star meals, oxtails and greens and all that kind of stuff, everything in between. So we got some recipes in there that you're going to like. There's some other recipes that's coming out in the book. The love story has about 5 to 7 recipes in it. Then the cookbook itself is going to have at least 25 to 30 recipes in it.
That sounds good to me. That sounds like a good Sunday meal right there.
Yeah.
Some oxtails and greens and things.
Yeah. It's intentional for men who don't necessarily cook. So Sean would be the perfect person to get this book.
So so in other words, it's a man, a can, and a plan. That's
What
you're basically telling.
There you go. Okay. There you go. You can plan dates and you say, come on over to the house.
Okay. So it sounds like I'm gonna be for a short time in this case because I can't cook. That's not my anointment.
It's gonna help you though. It's gonna help you.
There you go.
It's gonna tell you everything that you need. It's gonna give you a grocery list and everything.
Yes, indeed. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna go ahead and jump this thing off now. Now we got a surprise for you tonight because this is a bit of a relationship rehab marathon.
Okay.
So normally you get to see us for an hour, but we're going to give you the treat of 2 hours tonight.
Yes, sir.
And we're going to talk and dig deep into this particular subject tonight, a long time or a good time.
Or a good time.
So and I'm going to start off in this particular vein, being that, I'm representing the single man because these two gentlemen are both married, okay? So one of the things we have to look at when we are in this dating pool is what are we being tagged, okay? Are you a good time?
Mm-hmm.
Are you a long time? And that's not just for women. That's for men as well. Are you the food dude?
Right. A good dinner. A good dinner date.
Right.
Are you actually husband material? So we want to jump into that tonight. I don't have my notes in front of me. Jashawn, can you help me? What's the first thing we want to talk about?
All right, so Are you carrying yourself like a good? Are you carrying yourself like a good time or
There
a
it
long
is.
time? And I think it's, I guess like you just kind of did the definitions of what is a good time or what is a long time. So that's kind of the question: are you carrying yourself like a good time or a long time? What does that? What does that kind of look like, though? Asking yourself those questions.
So you looked at me.
Yeah, yeah.
We'll
No.
let you start it out.
You let you start it out.
So I think for a man, I've only been a man, so I can only speak for me, and then I'll talk about women. For a man, carrying yourself as a good time or a long time is upfront. What do you want? What are you seeking? What are you looking for? Are you looking for somebody that's just a late night hype? A late night hype means you come over after 10 before and you leave before 3.
Yeah,
Compared to, are you looking for a long-term relationship? Are you marriage material? Asking myself, am I marriage material? Do I do the things that I think are conducive for a marriage as a man before I'm married?
right.
You see, because it gets into a rhythm of things. So if I don't like the mindset of I'll do this for you to a limit while we're dating. Although there is a limit because I'm not paying your bills.
Right.
But there are some things I should do for you to show you that I'm a man, that I know how to lead a household,
Absolutely.
that I'm financially stable. I know how to manage money. I don't spend all my money on go-karts and stuff like that before we're married. So have to show those tendencies before talk about marriage.
Absolutely.
For a woman, I think you should carry yourself. I'm old school. I'm old school in my thought. Mama used to say, ain't nothing open after 10 but legs. So are you running the clubs at night? Are you running the streets at night?
Right.
It's okay to go out and have some fun. Everybody needs fun. But are you doing it consistently every day, every weekend? Wednesday through Sunday, we know where you at. You at Red Rooster. So,
Red Rooster.
Red Rooster, you owe us some money.
there we go. Yeah, that nice little plug, Red Rooster. I mean, I'm just saying, are you carrying yourself? Are you presenting yourself as I want to be a wife? Or I want to, because women are good times too. Some women just say, oh, hey, I want it. Slam, bam, thank you, ma'am. Gone about your business. But are you carrying yourself in what way you want to be sought?
Right.
Absolutely. This is what I'll say. A lot of times when we start talking about, situations like this, we don't, how can I put this? We don't take in consideration ourselves as far as being real with ourselves. Okay? What is it that you're portraying? You got to be real with yourself.
Right.
You got to be able to see and say, okay, look, so I'm out here and I'm portraying this, but I'm actually like this.
Right.
Because being fake to me kind of puts yourself in a position to be a good time.
Yeah.
Right.
Because you're fishing with a particular thing, but that's not really who you are. So for men, you might be fishing with your money.
Right.
Right.
And that's what you lead with is, I do this and I make this much. But is that really who you are?
Or how you want to be seen.
Or how you want to be seen? Because then you can't go crying later saying, man, she only want me for my money. Well, that's what you fished with.
Yeah.
Or if you that woman and you I'm gonna go and say it and I'm gonna make some women mad.
Say it,
You on Instagram and all we see is your behind.
Hey,
Or your Cleveland.
Or your cleavage.
yeah.
Your areolas like
Yeah.
boop,
Yeah.
Yeah.
all of if that's all we see, then don't be mad when that man, that's all he wants.
You're right.
so how do you say that to a woman who says that's not fishing, that's just dressing the way I like to dress?
Don't be mad.
Same rule applies.
Same rule applies.
Okay.
Because if you're presenting yourself, giving that, because men, we're imaginative.
Right.
Okay, you got it, ladies. If y'all don't know that about us, we're physical and visual creatures. So I'm not saying not to be sexy. And that's not what I'm saying at all. But if you leave nothing to the imagination, then all that's going to end up happening is that man wants to see what rest you did not have uncovered.
Right. Exactly.
Well, what you're exhibiting is you're showing yourself that I'm just a good time
Exactly.
and I'm not a long time.
Exactly.
So,
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll play devil's advocate. If I'm a woman and I'm shapely built, so I have to wear clothes that are fitting, which shows my shape. I'm not fishing. I'm just putting on clothes that
Right.
Acknowledge how I look. So how is that perceived as a good time when I'm just dressing?
That's different. That's not what we're talking about.
Okay.
So, example, I was with someone before, very small waist, hippie, and so in that there was nothing she could wear to hide it.
Right.
If she
right,
wore
right.
something baggy, you still gonna see something.
Right.
Okay, that's just what that is. You know, you can't hide your shape. That's your shape. That's what God blessed you with. I'm talking about people that are, you know what I'm saying?
Hey.
That are on purpose.
On
Hey,
purpose,
go get a size smaller than they are because they
Yeah.
want to show something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can't be mad when all the man is thinking about in that case is a good time.
Okay. Okay.
So I have here in the notes here, it says when you talk about being a long time or a good time, values, standards, and expectations. Don't confuse them and make sure you know them. Kind of explain that, Sean, what you mean by that.
Value, say it one more time.
It says values, standards, and expectations. Don't confuse them and make sure that you know them.
In the dating pool, there is a lot of confusion between those three things.
Yeah.
Help us out, Doc.
Values, standards, and expectations.
Right.
Oftentimes, what we are calling my standards are actually expectations.
Yeah.
What do you mean? Okay. A man oughta,
Order. Right.
those are expectations. Those are not standards.
But you've never been a man.
You've never been a man.
Right.
You know, a woman oughta.
But you've never been a woman.
You've never been a woman. Those are expectations. Those are not standards. Character, okay, goes with values and standards, okay? And looking at, you know, how that woman treats you, that's a standard. How that man treats you, that's a standard, okay? How you want to be treated is an expectation.
Right.
Okay, those things come with communication. And a lot of times in dating, expectations are not met and people become upset and bounce, but that was never any communication
Right.
about what you are expecting.
Right.
You know, so many times when I have counseled couples in premarital counseling, you would be surprised at the expectations that have not been discussed between the two
communicated.
that are about to get married.
Yeah.
You know, you grew up in a home where your mother and father split, you know, duties. Sometimes dad cooked, sometimes mom cooked. The other one grew up in a home where all dad had to do was come, take off his clothes, lay lumber,
Right.
eat dinner, boo-boo, go to sleep,
Right.
and repeat the cycle the next day. You know? So in dealing with that, you have to be able to understand what your expectations are, what your standards are. Stand strong on your standards. Your expectations, you might have to be a little flexible.
Right.
So can I press you on this one?
Okay.
Can an expectation be a demand? I demand to be treated this way. I demand it to be. I demand like you're not going. One of my I can't think of the word I'm thinking of. Like, one of my hard stops is you're not going to be disrespectful. You can't cuss at me.
That's a
especially not-
standard.
That's a standard.
That's the standard.
Not a demand.
That's not a demand.
Okay.
But to you know, go on what you're saying, a lot of times when you make demands, that speaks of entitlement. You expect that I have to have this. Okay, example. You can't take me to no Cheesecake Factory. That's a demand. Okay? That's entitlement.
What about Timmy Chance?
I might take you to Timmy Chan since you said I can't take you to Cheesecake Factory.
Timmy Chan.
Chim, you got to say it like black folks say Chimmy.
Chimmy.
That boy named Chimmy, not Timmy.
Yeah.
But, you know, nonetheless, you just have to understand that there's a difference between those three things. And I think people get them misconstrued, and that causes a lot of confusion. You know, stand strong on your standards, stand strong on your values. You know, stand 10 toes down on those things. But your expectations, you might have to negotiate with that.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Yeah, compromise does come into play with that too.
Absolutely.
And I think that when somebody communicates certain expectations, I think we got to go back to being self-aware as well and saying, do I have the capacity to fulfill these expectations? And a lot of times, you know, sometimes we have these conversations about expectations, and somebody may think, oh yeah, I can do that. When you get down the road, you can start at something that you can't finish.
Yeah.
You know? So yeah, you got to be careful with that. And I think that sometimes you can't expect everybody to meet every expectation. You know, it's okay for you to compromise and kind of curb those for the sake of the relationship.
That's what I was going to ask you. So, if I can't expect you to meet expectations or demands or standards, should I go into a relationship with you?
I think one of the things is, I think you still can, because there's no such thing as perfection.
Correct.
There's no such thing as a perfect person.
The older you get, the older we get. I'm 51. You kind of want things set. You want a person set. You want what you want. You ain't got time to work. You know, figure out if you're going to get there or not. You want what you want.
Yeah.
Is that fair though?
Yes, I think that's fair. You want what you want. But I think that sometimes when you project those things onto people, sometimes they can be how do you say it? Unrealistic expectations.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Speaking of wanting what we want, we got a caller that want to jump in.
Yeah, let's jump
Okay.
in. We got a caller. Let's
Hello,
get it.
caller.
Caller, talk to us. Tell us your name and what's your statement or question.
My name is LaPortia
I
Gillum.
knew
Oh
it.
Lord.
Surprise!
I knew it.
Surprise!
I just wanted to chime in, y'all, and I'm sorry I'm not there tonight, but work takes place. But I want to chime in on those expectations for the ladies. I'd like to use ourselves as an example from when Sean and I first got together. I feel like, Sean, I've said this, just Sean, I've said this before that, when we first got together, you had a Superman. Um, you came. I felt like you were Superman, and I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. I couldn't lift a finger. Couldn't do this. This and that. This and that. And then, initially I wasn't used to that because I was single. I was used to doing everything on my own. I mean, it got to the point where his schedule was so relaxed, and he had to go pick up my daughter. He had to go to her events in school when she was in middle school and then at the beginning of high school. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm not even available anymore. And I got frustrated. But then I started getting used to him doing, and as I became more relaxed, and then became a point of time where he could not do. His schedule changed. One time got sick, and then I was mad because I was used to you. You come in here with in my mind, you come in here with I can do this, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. You don't have to you don't have to pick your finger up. I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this. And then when he couldn't do it because of things changing, I got frustrated, and that was a time of transition. And so I was expecting him to do everything, but I had to change. We had to work through that, and I had to realize that your expectations can change, will change, especially if something happens, because you won't be the same in a relationship forever.
I guess I can speak to that.
Yeah,
That's your wife.
Yeah. I can speak to that. So I think what happens is, we get into relationships and we want relationships or marriage, people, period. And they don't consider change. Mm-hmm. They don't consider life.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And so you do come in with one thing, and now I'm used to this, my husband doing one thing and my wife doing a certain thing. But then when life starts lifing and, and all the things, it's almost like you have to consider the change.
Right.
Because life is going to life.
Got to roll with the punches.
You got to roll with the punches, There are certain things that even my wife may have started out doing that she don't do anymore. Well, that could be because of work schedule has changed.
Right.
Her workload may be a little bit different now. So it ain't that she's a bad wife. Mm-hmm. It ain't that she don't love me. It's just that I'm gonna roll with the change because life change is not the same no more.
Right.
Mm-hmm. We was having a conversation with our new neighbors, and we were just kind of talking. They actually are avid watchers of the show, by the way.
Okay. Hey, neighbor.
Yeah, and so we were just talking about it, and we're just like, we're not the same people that we were. We just been married 5 years. We ain't the same people that we were 5 years ago.
Right.
And I think they've been married like 20 years. They ain't the same people.
Right.
So when the change happens, do we just give up and quit and now I'm mad and I married the wrong person? No. I mean, you still have a firm foundation.
Right.
When the thing changes, then I roll with the punches. That's what important. It is, because that's a choice at that point. Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, great example. Thank you for calling in, caller. You did such a great job. And we definitely miss you. You actually have some fans out here that's wondering, where's Portia at? Forget y'all, where's Portia?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I love my fans. Bye.
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 So yeah, I mean, that goes right back to understanding that expectations have to be flexible.
Yeah.
I agree.
Okay, you can't. Your expectations, you can't stand 10 toes down on that because life happens.
Right. Oh, absolutely.
Right. Life be lifing.
Life be lifing.
So at the end of the day, my answer as the single man, and we're gonna move on to being a long time in a minute, but you've got to understand the difference between your standards, your expectations, and your values.
Right.
And if you don't have a clear picture of that, then you're gonna get them confused, and then you're gonna be at home by yourself with
Agreed.
two cats.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Let me just add one tidbit. There is no 50-50. It doesn't exist. Sometimes it's 70-30, sometimes it's 80-20, sometimes it's 95-5, sometimes it's 97-3,
Yeah.
100. Sometimes there are things and circumstances that cause you to not be able to input as much as you should. So you have to be able to respect the fact that your partner is going to pick up the slack, at the same time knowing you got to pick up slack too for her sometimes. So never expect a 50-50.
Absolutely.
I think that's a great segue into the next thing when you talk
Right.
about determining if you are a long time or you are just a good time. Because in being a long time, things do happen. You got to make a decision. Ask yourself the question, can I make the choice to still choose this person even when times do change?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And so some of the questions, going back to our notes, is, are you ready to be a long time? And to help you determine that, you got to ask yourself some questions, right?
Absolutely.
So I would ask you, Mike, what are some of the questions, to ask yourself to determine whether you're a long time or not?
Thank you. I'm going to go to that. So I thought about something today. I thought about, have you been delivered from the my syndrome? Because a single man is my,
Yeah.
like Johnny Gill.
Yeah.
But I'm considering,
my.
Yeah. When I'm considering marriage, I got to take my out of my vocabulary.
Absolutely.
And am I willing to do that? Am I willing to say, okay, Mike, you got to give up something? Here's something I tell people. I think I told you as well. When I got married, when I was single, I went to the barbershop every Saturday at 6:30 every Saturday. Put my clothes in cleaners right after it every week. Went to the mall, shop, did everything I wanted to do. Then I considered, man, you're getting a woman with 2 kids. What the heck are you thinking? There goes your bachelorhood. That goes some of your money. Then I had to catch myself. It's not your money no more. You getting married. Hold up, bro. You getting married. Yeah. So those are questions I had to ask myself directly on.
Yeah.
Because I think different than some men. I'll say some. Some. Can the church say some?
Some.
I think different than some men. In my thought process, I take care of everything in my household.
Right.
I pay every bill. I do everything out of my pocket because I'm the man of the house, and I feel like that's what I should do. My wife don't even know who our light company is. She don't know who the water company is. She doesn't know, because I'm taking care of everything. My wife don't even put gas in her own car.
Right.
I fill up her car every week.
Right.
I wash it and fill it up. Those are things I told myself, you're going to consider that over your bachelorhood?
Yeah.
Hard questions.
Right. Real
to ask
questions.
yourself,
Right.
before I decide to go and get married.
Yeah, for sure. So I guess that's one of the questions that we, you're asking yourself, okay, am I ready to be a husband? Am I ready to be a wife? One of the questions that we said in our production meeting was, what are you willing to give up?
Ooh.
Ooh.
You have to. I don't want to put this out there like this, but I'm going to say it. You almost have to be willing, not that you will, but be willing to give up everything.
Yeah.
To just totally revamp your life and not hold on to this is the way I do it. This is the way I want it done.
Right.
Be open enough to say, okay, I have someone else who comes from a different background, who comes from a different upbringing, so her views may be different from my views, and I've got to be open enough to give her ways thoughts. And then, okay, baby, this is how you want to do it? Okay, let's try it. If it doesn't work, we're going to do it my way.
Right.
If it does work, we're good. I'm good with doing it your way.
Yeah.
And that doesn't make me less of a man. That just makes me more loving to my wife.
Right.
That puts you right in Scripture. Because, not to preach, but the Scripture says that a man should love his wife like Christ loved the church.
Correct.
And gave his life for her.
Correct.
So that means a lot of times in our marriages, what I believe is happening is a lot of us are not dying.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
You got to die to yourself.
You gotta die to yourself.
And not hold on to a piece of peace.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And I know I'm speaking to somebody out there that's watching. You are struggling right now because you still living. You'll catch that around midnight and shot about the thing.
Yeah.
I just caught it at 7:39 p.m. Yeah. But no, it's good. It's one of the things too is I would say you give up your single mindset.
Right.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
When you're talking about preparing yourself for marriage, I'm preparing myself to be a husband or a wife. I don't do single things anymore. I don't think single anymore because I'm always considering my spouse. I consider my spouse in everything that I do, because everything that I do affects not just me,
Right.
it affects my spouse and
Right.
my household, period. So one of the things I would say, give up a single mindset. And sometimes that's hard to do. I'll go back to the example. She's listening.
She'll call if
my
you get
wife,
online.
she'll call. Yeah, she'll call if I'm not
She'll
telling the
call if
truth.
you get
My
online.
wife, before, me and my wife, who for people who don't know the story, we got married. My wife was 39 years old, and I was 40. Well, she was used to doing things by herself. She's a single mom
Right.
at the time, so everything fell on her. And so it took us some time and some transitioning and getting over some challenges to be able to allow her to be able to transition from
Correct.
a single mindset to being a married woman, and she could probably speak to that as well. On the flip side of that, being a husband, I had to extend grace to her while she transitioned.
Right.
I couldn't just be like, oh, well, she ain't ready to be married. She still want to be single and going on about her business.
Right.
I ain't finna deal with that.
Right.
Like I told y'all in the production meeting, I say this often, people just don't act and respond the way they do just because.
Right.
It comes from a
It
place.
comes from somewhere.
It comes from somewhere, right? So at the end of the day, I know where some of her responses came from. You're talking about a woman who's never been married, who's now, trying to be a wife to somebody and relinquishing, some of the
Can you
things,
say
control.
that R word again? That R word?
Relinquishing.
That's a big word.
Yeah,
That's a
and
big word.
I'm gonna give some control to somebody else, and so I had a job too. I had a job to earn her trust,
Right.
so she can feel okay with saying, okay, he got that. I ain't got to do that. And I used to always tell her, hey, you ain't got to fight this by yourself no more.
Right.
I used to have to tell her that
I've
sometimes.
done the same thing.
I'm in the fire with you. You don't have to do it. We have another caller, and it's probably LaPortia. And that's fine.
Boy, she may not be calling
Come
again.
on in.
Caller, talk to us. What's your name?
If you're not LaPortia.
What's your question? What's your statement?
No, I'm just calling to piggyback on you all from the woman's perspective. The woman's perspective of what are you willing to give up, and when you're asking, what are you willing to give up as a woman? For me, because our audience is 35 and up, and when you are looking to get married, I had to give up. I feel like I had to give up my identity. And I didn't know that. At first we're all excited. You changing your name. You got
Right.
the ring. You're having a
Right.
wedding. You're not thinking about. I never thought about my identity. And when I say that, I mean changing your name on forms. It's harder than you think. Your passport, your driver's license, and I gave this example in our production meeting. I went to the grocery store one day, and that's when, Deshaun and I was, bringing our lives together because we already had lives before, right? So we're
Right.
bringing our lives together. We in one account. We got one account together. Well, I went on his account, and I get to the grocery store. I'm about, I'm spending $300 some on groceries, and I go to pay, and my debit card wasn't working. So instantly embarrassed, and I'm like, well, hold on, I don't know. I called the bank. The bank wouldn't even let me authorize the payment. They said I had to have Jashawn there. He wasn't with me. And here I am standing in this line with people on the phone with the bank, and I got angry. I called him, and I was like, I can't even do this. I can't do that. And I'm used to being the head of my household. I was so used to making all the decisions because I took on a masculine role, being a single mom. And so I was used to having everything at my fingertips because it all was on me. And then when I had to relinquish those things.
There's that R word.
Right? And you say what, Sean?
That's that R word. That's
Yeah.
what Mike said.
Yeah, that's that R word.
Oh, that was Mike. Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, I had to relinquish those things, and I had to transition and be okay with that. But it took time. It took some time. Recently, we just sold our house. The house was in my name, and I kept saying, "Hey, I got married. Do I need to give this? Do I need to give that?" No, you're fine. Well, we get to closing, and a 15-minute process turned into a 2-hour process. They had to go back, redraw the documentation. Wait, she's married. I had to show my driver's license, so you have to, that's something to put in mind. And I hear a lot of women, I'm not sharing a bank account. I'm not changing my name. I'm not doing this and that. And so you have to be mindful, and that I believe that is a part of being marriage minded. You know,
Right.
changing your name, taking
Right.
on your husband's name,
Mm-hmm.
and becoming one because you're not two.
Right.
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 It's just a process.
It's a mindset.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, I had to have the same conversation with my wife. Initially, when she came, I literally had to sit her down and say, hey, I do this. I paid all the bills before you got here. I'm going to pay the bills now with you here. So don't keep coming saying, hey, you want this? Hey, should I do this? No, you should do your part. Be a wife. I got my part. I'm going to take care of all this because I choose to, not because somebody told me to do this, because I come from a single mother. Not because somebody told me this, not because somebody said this is what you should do. It's because I choose to do what I come up with on my own thoughts and thinking. And I don't, it's not that I don't need your help, because when I got sick, it was her that took care of everything. When I got well, I took it back,
Right.
you know. And so it wasn't necessarily the fact of I need to be dominant over you or control you. It's just the way I do things, you know. And when you come into this relationship, you came into it knowing that I knew how to manage money, knowing that I knew how to pay bills. You came into a 4-bedroom, 3,000 square foot house with a man with 2 cars. I don't need your stuff. I need you to be a wife.
So
Right.
what does that look like? That would be my
But
question.
hold on, wait a
Go
minute.
ahead,
So
go
when
ahead,
I
go
hear
ahead.
that, like when I hear that from a
Probably gonna
female
say the same thing I was gonna
perspective,
say.
that sounds like to me, you like you're doing me a favor, and maybe I'm hearing it wrong.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want you to make me feel as a female that you're doing me a favor, because if she was grown, already had her children, already had a place to stay, whether it
Right.
was an apartment
Right.
or a house, and maybe it's the tone, and maybe it's, I don't know, but it sounds like to me, and you correct me if I'm wrong, I wouldn't want a man telling me, you came to this, and I had this, and I had that, and I had this. I would rather hear, this is mine. Hey, this is going to be yours. The kids, whatever here is mine is my, is ours. I don't want you to feel comfortable. I want you to feel like you belong here. I don't ever want to have to feel like at any given moment he gets mad, he's going to put me out.
Absolutely not. I think if I can say, change your mindset, because I never said
Yep.
to her, this is mine. We knew that, as a matter of fact, you guys are lined up with us so much because we just bought a new house
Right.
a month ago.
Right.
So we lived in the house that I had by myself. I chose, baby, let's go ahead and put some stuff in your name. Go ahead and put you on the deed. I don't want you to have to fight if something happens to me, because I had strokes. I don't want you to have to fight if something happens to me. I want you to be able to live comfortably going forward.
Right.
So I never said anything was, this is mine, this is what you do. I told her, hey, come in, rip that off the wall if you want to. Change up whatever you want to. I don't care. I chose to bring you into this. I choose to share it with you.
I just don't want you to worry about paying no bills. I do that
Yeah,
already.
yeah. Don't worry about no pain.
Yeah.
My part
Okay.
as a man in your life is to make it easier for you.
Yeah.
So don't come with, this is a whole different program over here. I did it before you were here. I'm gonna do it after you're here. I'm gonna pay everything. I'm gonna do everything. I just chose you. I bought the car for her wedding anniversary. Wedding gift. So I take on paying the note. That's not. I shouldn't buy you a car and make you pay the note. That's an additional problem for you.
Right.
Additional pressure. So it's mine. It's my pressure. So that's why I do it.
Yeah.
So all she got to do is come and say, okay, Big Daddy.
I am 6'2" and she's 4'11", so we'll go with the big daddy part. Yeah.
We'll go with the big daddy.
Yeah, we'll go with the big daddy part.
So and somebody in the
I know that's
oh,
right.
I'm sorry. Somebody in the comments said this, and I was going to ask you this: what is being a wife? When you say just be a wife, what do you mean? Because that can mean different things to different people.
So in my mindset, and what has worked for our household, and it may not work for everybody's household, but what works for our household, and we'll be married 6 years in December.
Oh yeah, cool.
So what works for our household is, as I take pressure off her, she takes pressure off me. I don't have to worry about anything. I don't have to worry about anything. Like, if you think about all the small things or whatever, I don't have to worry about anything. I know I have what's most important to me about our relationship is I have a partner.
Right.
I have a partner. So if something happens to me, I know she got my back. I know I can call her and say, babe, can you take care of the light bill this time? Babe, can you go ahead and cook your spaghetti, one of your 3 dishes? Can you go ahead and cook that tonight? Because I have a partner. And having a partner takes so much stress off of me.
Right.
Just knowing I have somebody there if I need them.
Right.
Right.
You know, that's why convenience stores are cost so much more money because they're convenient compared to going to a grocery store. I have my grocery store. I don't have to go to a convenience store.
Right. I say this, man, and I'm going to use that big R word again, relinquish, because I know some men that struggle with this. You've been a bachelor for so long. You've been by yourself for so long. You're used to doing it all by yourself, and you don't want to relinquish how you do things to a wife. Right. What do you say to that man?
I say, what are your motives? What is your reasoning for doing what you're doing? Such as I have friends, very close friends at that, who believe in the 50-50 rule. You're here, so you need to pay half the bills. You need to pay half the bills. But she's still working. She's still taking care of the kids, and you're just working, going home, and go to sleep. Is that fair? Why she have to pay half and you pay half, and she's doing more than you? That's not fair to me. Mm-hmm. Just me again. Mm-hmm. That's just my thinking. Doesn't mean it's law.
And I agree with that. Mike. I don't mean to cut you off. When you go into a relationship with a man, ladies, you are a partnership. It's a team.
Yeah.
And again, I guess that's just how I was taught upbringing. If a man starts talking to me about 50-50, that's a no for me.
Right.
And I'm not saying, he got to pay all the bills or whatever. We pay these bills together, if that's the case. Just like you, Mike, said, you pay all the bills, but one point in time, she had to pay the bill. Y'all did that together. It's still togetherness.
Right.
And if you're leading with, we're going to be 50-50, we're going to be, however, whatever works for you, works for you. You just need to set your expectations in the beginning so no one will get confused. You don't start 2 years and I'm going to pay all the bills, and now you know what? You ain't cooking enough. You're not having sex with me enough, so I think we need to split these bills 50-50.
Right.
I think all of that comes with communication, though, too.
Communication is amazing.
We got to communicate on how we're going to operate this thing.
Right.
And, somebody kind of put in the comments, said, what about a non-traditional marriage where there are no gender roles? I would love to discuss more progressive relationships, but traditional doesn't work for everyone. And, again, that may not work. Again, we're going to talk. We got to come to an agreement on how we're going to operate. Mm-hmm. Whether it's we're going to split bills or we don't have gender roles. You do this and do this. I had this conversation the other day with somebody, and we were talking about how certain men do certain things and women do certain things, and it's just not like it used to be, right? Mm-hmm. But my thing is this: in this day and time, me and my wife both cook.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We both do laundry.
She just looks better cooking.
Now let me tell you.
Listen, that's what we talked about yesterday.
Listen. It is something about my wife was cooking. Sidebar, y'all. My wife was cooking the other day, some cabbage and some yams and some good stuff. And some dressing.
Yeah.
And she said, "Babe, you like to see me cooking?" I was like, "Yes." I just think it's so sexy to see my wife cooking in the kitchen. Anyway, but anyway, I just feel like, in this day and time, because times have changed, mm-hmm. it's okay for both of us to be able to partner in life and go through life and do things together. Mm-hmm. I don't, for the most part, I take out the trash at the house. For the most part, I'm like you. I put gas in my wife's car. Now, it may be a time that my wife, our schedules just haven't been matching, and she may be out and be like, "Dang, babe, I gotta grab some gas," and it kills me almost because she got to stop and get gas,
Right.
But I would probably say 90-something% of the time I do that for my daughter as well.
Right.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So when you talk about gender roles, I just think it's about what you agree to.
What you agree to.
And what you like hey, I'll pay the bills. I just need you to be a wife to me. She agrees with that.
Right.
Cool. Then what does that look like? And that's a question that you ask your spouse. Mm-hmm. Your spouse. Okay, cool. You just want me to be a wife? What does that look like for you? To you, for me to be your wife.
Right. When I'm down, you're up.
There you go.
Here's a scenario. I almost had another stroke Father's Day. Mm-hmm. I was in the hospital Father's Day.
Tell the listeners your story, because it's very compelling. Tell them what happened.
Well,
with you and your wife.
Going back to the very beginning.
Yes,
we were
sir.
dating. We were dating. So, boyfriend, girlfriend. Not even boyfriend, girlfriend. Just dating. I had 2 strokes. I don't know what made her come over to my house, but she came over to my house. I don't know what made me leave the door unlocked, but I left the door unlocked. She came on in. She knocked on the door and I said, "Hey." All I could say was, "Hey." She came on in. I'm stretched out on the couch. All I could say to her was, "Take me to the hospital." She took me to the hospital. I had 2 strokes. She didn't leave. She didn't talk about me. She didn't say, "Ooh, you sassy. You barely 8-year difference, age gap difference." She didn't say, "Oh, you old." She stuck with me side by side. She let me. I told her myself, being that I'm an entrepreneur. I said, if you my employee, I'd fire your butt. She was at the hospital every day, all day. When she wasn't there, she made sure her kids were there. Her kids. I'm gonna go back to her kids. When she wasn't there, she made make sure her kids were there. I have kids of my own. They weren't there, but she made sure her kids were there. She'd get off work, come to the hospital. So I told her, you know what? I gotta marry you. You go get your stuff. Come on over here. She didn't do it for about 2-3 months. I would say it all the time. Go get your stuff, woman. Come on over here. Come here. This is where you're gonna be for the rest of your life. I'm gonna take care of you just like you took care of me. And we've had 6 years. We've probably had maybe two disagreements in those 6 years, because we just work together. Works fine for us.
Yeah.
It may not work for everybody, but works fine for us in our household. And we don't necessarily have gender roles.
Right.
We just do it.
Yeah.
Do what needs to be done,
Right.
and things happen. There's only one thing: I don't let my wife or my daughter touch the trash.
Yeah. Many don't play.
I got sons, and I'm a man. I'm gonna take out the trash. You don't take out no trash. You know, she doesn't allow me to wash dishes. She said I don't clean them good enough. You know, so she just don't touch my dishes.
Right,
Okay,
right.
fine. I won't touch your dishes. You know,
Yeah.
but for us in our household, it just works fine for us.
I like what you said too. You said that she did this. She showed you those things before y'all got
Yes,
married.
yes,
And it brings
yes.
me back to the Bible scripture that say, "He that finds a wife
Yes,
finds
sir.
a good thing and
Right.
obtains favor from the Lord." Right?
sir.
Didn't say that he that finds a girlfriend that was fine
Right.
and she had money and all this other stuff. It said that he that finds a wife finds a good thing. And my story is kind of similar. It wasn't that I was sick, but I used to work a club a lot. Right? I'm a police officer, and I used to come home from the club 2-3 o'clock in the morning. I used to go visit LaPortia when we were dating. And she, when I would get there, she would lay out my towels, my shorts. She would cook for me or warm up whatever she cooked or just make sure I had something to eat. To me, that was wifey material.
Right.
That wasn't somebody that I just wanted to be a girlfriend with, because what that did was what a wife looks like for me is somebody that provides peace to me.
Right. That's the main thing
Yeah.
right there. The peace.
Yeah, just provide peace to me.
Peace.
I don't need you to do no hard, heavy lifting.
Right.
I don't need you to do all this other stuff that a man would normally do.
Right.
I just need you to be peaceful with me.
Right.
That's it.
Right.
So she provided that. I had to wife her.
Right.
Yeah,
And she showed you those qualities before she got the name.
absolutely,
You get my point?
Absolutely.
Before she got the marriage certificate, she showed you she was a wife.
absolutely.
So that's very important. A lot of people say, don't do wifey duties when you're just a girlfriend.
Right,
Well, I mean, how you going to attract what you want
right,
by not showing what you are?
Right. And I like what Portia said last night when we were talking. Be yourself.
right.
Right.
You know, be yourself with boundaries, I would say. And I think when we say that statement, because I actually put that in my book, don't be a wife at a girlfriend price, meaning that you doing all this stuff,
Right.
For somebody that hasn't shown you that they're going to move or progress to the next level with you.
Right.
There does need to be some boundaries that are drawn in that situation.
There are
Even
some
with a man.
boundaries. There are some
Right.
boundaries.
Yeah,
Yes.
100%.
But at least show me what you are,
Right.
so I know what I'm attracted to.
Correct.
Because I may not be attracted to you.
Because that's what we do in courtship.
Right.
When we're really truly courting,
Right.
we're showing you that we can lead. We're showing you that we can provide. We're showing
Right.
you that we can protect. That's what
Right.
we do
Right.
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 Before we become a husband.
before we become a husband.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So
Absolutely. I think somebody said here, definitely have to have the conversation. Their marriage is very non-traditional without gender roles. But she did say that. But there are some non-negotiables. I don't do yard work because he refuses to allow me to. So there is some sort of a gender role in your household because
Right.
there's certain things that he doesn't allow you to do
Right.
as a man. You
Or
know
doesn't
what I
want
mean?
you to do.
Don't want you to do.
Because
Right.
when I was sick, just for Father's Day, my wife said, "Okay, we were on the phone. I'm finna stop and get gas." I said, "I got mad. I said I want to leave this hospital right now." Because she had to pump her own gas because I'm used to doing that for her.
Right.
Washing her car every weekend, washing her car. So Monday morning she's ready to roll, full of gas, car washing everything.
Yeah.
But she had to do it herself when I couldn't be there.
Right. Right. I think one of the other questions too, if y'all want to move on.
Yeah, let's move on.
Yeah,
That's
let's
fine.
move
yes,
on.
yes.
So one of the other questions
Do we
was,
still have Portia on the phone?
No, I
hung
think
up?
she
Okay.
hung up. Yeah.
She'll be back.
Look, you know my wife already. But one of the things was, are you willing to share? Was another question that you need to ask yourself. If you're asking yourself, are you a long time? Are you willing to share? What are some of the things as a married man, that you, in becoming married, what are things that you had to share?
First off, my space. That was very important to me. My space was very important.
Yeah.
My space was so important to me. So I built a patio on the back of the house that was custom built. It was just for me to go smoke cigars.
Okay. Didn't know you smoked cigars. Me too. Okay.
Just to smoke cigars.
Yeah.
When we were dating, she came over one time. And she came out there on my patio while I was smoking a cigar, and I was like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, whoa!" This my spot. Whoa.
It's the man cave.
In my mind, I'm thinking, "Don't come out here, man. This is my spot. You know, you got a whole 3,000 square feet in the house inside. Give me this patio, this 13 by 13.
Gotcha.
Let me have it." And so I had to accept the fact that you can't shut her out. Just she doesn't smoke cigars. She doesn't smoke anything, but you can't shut her out for one being in your presence. So it's not about your space; it's about your presence that she wanted to be in. She wanted to share with you. She wanted to talk with you. She wanted to laugh with you.
That's good.
You know.
Yeah.
So I had to first off think of my space, which I coveted so much. Then my money. Every man talk about his money.
Yeah.
You had to think about, hey, do I give her access to this account, all of the accounts, or give her access to one account?
Yeah.
You know, and I think about, give her access to everything. I'm going to allow you everything because I expect everything.
Yeah.
So I remember a time when I had to ask myself, what are you willing to share? Are you willing to share your kitchen? Because I cook. I cook a lot.
Right.
So if you go in my kitchen, you mess up my kitchen, I'm mad because I was raised by a woman that if you put something in one spot, when she come back to it, she wants it right there in that same spot. So those little things like that, I had to face myself about what are you willing to share? Because it's wrong for me to invite you in this space and not allow you to have the space or confine you to a space.
Right.
You're in this space, so it should be yours. Everything, everywhere.
Right.
So I had to learn. I'm sharing everything.
Yeah. I had to do the same thing too when me and Portia got married. I guess I'm kind of old school and traditional.
I'm old school.
Yeah, my grandfather was my father figure. You know, me and Sean have the same grandfather on his dad's side. His father's side. But one of the things was when I got with her was I had to share benefits. I chose
Right.
to share benefits. Let me say it like that, because I feel like for me, you don't need to be on your own insurance and stuff like that. Everybody gonna be on mine.
Right.
And that's one of the things that I shared. I shared my benefits.
Right.
Immediately, she's a beneficiary. Kylie's not my biological, but when something happened to me, Kylie gets a piece just like my other kids do. You know what I mean? Because I felt like in stepping into a husband role, I'm sharing all of those things that God has blessed me for the benefit of my family.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So definitely benefits that I had to share. I had to share my time.
Right.
You know, when you're single, you're used to doing things with yourself, by yourself.
Right.
You know,
when you
I
want
used
to do
to,
it.
yeah, I used to live in a loft in Cyprus, and Wednesdays and Thursday nights, I would go down to the little wine place. They had a little steak special, pork chop special or whatever
Right.
on a Wednesday, and they had another special on a Thursday. I'm used to sitting at the bar by myself,
Right.
Spending time. But you get married, now you share your time with somebody, and I'm okay with that because I like spending time with my lady.
Yeah.
That's why it's key to give somebody that you like too.
Right.
You know?
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely.
And so I think that was kind of deeper what you said because I smoke cigars as well. And so I sit on the patio and I smoke a cigar, and it's not that I don't want to share my space with her. I love sharing the presence together, and she'll sit out there and talk for a little bit, and then she'll go back in because she don't want to smell it.
Go watch a reality show.
Yeah, she gonna watch Beauty in Black or whatever she's watching,
yeah.
and then go back in. But sharing your time is one of the
Sharing
things.
your time.
Yeah,
That's major.
Yeah, that's major.
A lot of men equate money as being the head of everything
Yeah,
because we value our money, we value our income.
It's part of our identity.
Right, our identity. One of the things you mentioned about benefits, I'm an entrepreneur. So I had to explain to my wife, I'm putting you on this account. You can't spend from this account. This is the business account. So you're on it. Just in case something happens to me, you're there. You can manage everything.
Yeah.
You can do everything from just like Adam. Eat from all these trees. Don't touch this one. So I have the business account because this is business. This is how we operate business right here. All the other accounts, have at it. Do what you want to do. But for us, I explained to her, or I asked her, your income, because you make an income yourself, save that. Do what you want to do with that. I don't even know when my wife get paid. I don't even know her paydays.
right.
Because that's your money. And that's just what I desire. That's not the rule. That's not the law. I'm not Jesus. I don't say it. It's just for me and my household.
Right.
Do your thing. Come over here when you need to, and when something happens to me.
Right. I think that was the thing for me too. A lot of men be like, I ain't finna share my accounts and put all my money with her and all this other stuff.
Right.
See, I come from a space of I want her to have her name on everything that I have.
You want to give her
in
access.
case something happens to
That's
me.
exactly.
You know what I mean? We share a bank account, of course, that we pay bills out of, but she has a separate account,
Right.
and then I have a separate account.
Right.
But we have access to each other's account. My wife can see every time I swipe a card. Not that she gonna say anything.
Right.
She doesn't. Same with her. I don't care whether she swipes a card or
don't
not.
care.
That don't matter to me. But if something happens to me, I want the closest one that I partner in life with, that I'm on the same
Doing
team
life with,
with,
right.
to have access to everything I do in case something happens, so she can carry on in case I can't.
If just something
You know
happened.
what I mean? Absolutely.
So let me ask you this. Let me put this out there. I gave her access to everything. I struggled with one thing. I was coming out of bachelorhood. I didn't want to give you access to my phone.
Didn't want to give access
That's a
to
whole
my
nother
phone.
talk show.
That's a whole nother show.
I didn't want to give her access. I struggled with that in the beginning. This is my space. It's like my wallet. Don't go in my wallet. I'm not going to go in your purse. I will never go in your purse. To this day, I won't go in your purse.
That's a good equation.
You know,
Yeah.
but I'm giving you access to everything but my phone. And I was watching Tyler Perry one day, and the girl was arguing, "What's in your phone, Marcus?" Because he wouldn't give her the passcode.
Yeah. Why'd I get married?
Right. And I got convicted. Man, you do the same thing. You ain't hiding nothing. 'Cause let me say this: you're not ordered by the FCC or governed by the FCC, are you?
No.
Okay. I was done with my whole phase, so why not give it to her? I ain't got nothing to hide. And so I found out when I gave it to her, she don't even use it.
Right.
She don't even go. When I was in the hospital, she said, "What's your code again?"
Yeah.
And I joked and said, "No, I gave it to you once. You ain't get it again.
it twice.
You ain't get it again."
Yeah.
So I relinquished that part, and I felt like, okay, we're complete now
Yeah.
because I relinquished that part of my privacy.
Yeah.
I would imagine marriages. I mean, being a single man, because I've never been married. I do desire it,
Right.
but I would imagine
We're gonna start a campaign. Get Sean married.
marriage. I'm working on it. Marriage is growth,
Right.
Yeah.
and if you're not growing, you're probably not in a successful marriage. If I had to imagine,
You gotta grow consistently.
and then probably if you are in a bad marriage, it's still gonna grow you up.
Yeah.
But anyway, in that, what you just shared was growth.
Yeah.
Right.
You grew to that point.
Yeah.
One of our listeners on Facebook, Cookie, was asking, let me make sure I don't misquote what she says. The Word of God said he made Adam a helpmeet. So what's wrong with the woman helping with the bills and etc.?
There is nothing wrong with her doing that. It's not a law. Again, as I said before, it's not a law. It's just the way my household works. She can help all she wants to, but with the bills, I got the bills. She takes her money and buys cute stuff for the wall. Or maybe you did it before. I got some new drawers in the drawer. She does what she wants with her money because I'm the responsible person for the household. Mm-hmm. And she has been that when I've been down, when I was in the hospital, when I was recovering from my strokes. Mm-hmm. And there was money in the bank, but she said she spent her own money and then told me later. I said, no, don't do that. It's get the money out the bank. So there's nothing wrong as in you're going to be beat or something like that because you're helping with the bills. It's just that I choose to pay all the bills.
Right.
I choose to fill your car with gas.
Right.
I choose to do these things myself. Doesn't mean every man has to. Doesn't mean every man should. But for me, in my house, this is how it works.
So once again, here's that word again. Those are expectations that we have communicated
Right.
on how our house is going to work.
Right.
Right.
And again, she came from being self-sufficient. She came from being in her own place. She came from taking care of 2 kids. She came from keeping her car. She came from all that. But my role is your life should be easier because I'm in it.
Absolutely.
If your life is the same or harder because I'm in it, then I'm not doing my job.
Right. Right.
That's just the way I think.
Yeah, I think it's a good question to ask too when you're trying to decide whether you're a long time too. Me being in this person's life, does it make their life easier with me in it?
Right.
You know what I mean? I think that it should be. We have this conversation sometimes too, to where it's like there's certain things I shouldn't have to worry about because I got a wife. There's certain things that my wife should not have to worry about because she's got a husband.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So yeah, asking yourself, what I bring to the table, does it make this? Am I willing to be in this person's life to
Let me
make their
give you
life
an
easier?
example. My wife, my daughter, my kids have AAA. If something happened to you, call me.
Right.
Then we'll say call AAA later on.
Right.
But call me because I'm coming to get you. No matter where you at, no matter what's going on, I'm coming. You're going to wait for AAA, so call me first. That's just a thing of.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
No,
I
get
mean, well, a mentor of mine taught me that by how I watched him deal with his wife. If she got a flat tire, she call him. He go there and he wait.
Right.
Or
Right.
change the tire.
Change the tire
or whatever the
or
case
take my
may
truck
be.
and go.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah. This is good, fellas.
Yes, sir.
Now again, this is not the law. This is not the rule. This is
Right.
what
These are
works for
our
my household.
expectations, standards, and values that we're talking about.
Right.
Everybody's different. Nobody's the same. But the reason why we all can get along is because we all got the same standards and values,
Right.
right? So most times our expectations are going to be about the same.
And I make sure she knows that she's valued in what she does.
Yeah.
Even if it's nothing but give me a piece of bread while I'm watching TV. I value that because I didn't have to do it myself.
I ain't have to do it myself.
Right.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. So what we got here is, are you ready to give up your identity? And I think Portia kind of spoke
We
to
already
that
hit on
already.
that.
Yeah. And how much control are you willing to give up?
I think I touched on that when I talked about the phone.
Yeah.
If I choose to be married, I'm giving up everything.
Yeah.
I can't hold a piece back from you because I'm not ready for you to get in this area yet.
Right.
In 6 years of marriage, almost 6 years, still learning,
Yeah.
still learning.
For sure.
But there's not an area that I say, okay, you're not allowed here.
See, for me, when I live like that, when there's an area that you have, there's no area that you can't touch.
Right.
See, that's peace to me.
Right.
I sleep good at night. I
You
don't
ain't
have to
gotta
sleep
hide
with my
nothing.
phone turned down.
Right.
I don't have to ride with my phone on do not disturb
Exactly.
because I don't worry about that.
Right.
That matters to me.
That's peace.
Yeah. And
That's
so
peace.
it matters to me to be trusted by my lady. For her to say, I can go through my husband's phone and do whatever. You know, I can answer his phone. I can go through whatever. And my wife's not like that. She's not going to do that.
Right.
But I think just knowing that she can,
Right.
that's not just peace for her. That's peaceful for me too.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, I go to New Orleans for a convention every July, every year, every third week of the month. It's New Orleans. Think about New Orleans. My wife don't even call me. She knows I'm hanging with my college buddies and everything. She don't. I have to call her. Hey, you alive?
Right.
But she trusts me, and because she has access to everything, and she trusts me to not even bug me when I'm on vacation with my friends.
Right.
And I value that.
Yeah.
When my buddies say, "I wish I had your wife," no, you don't, because
Yeah.
you don't know how to treat her.
You don't know how to treat it.
You don't know how to treat her.
Wow. Yeah.
That's a word right there.
Yeah.
Because she's so, as I told you, she's more of the stand behind the veil person. She's gonna make sure make you go. Even tonight, she said, "Have a good show, baby." I said, "You can call in and stuff." Nope. Have a good show, baby. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So that type of person is docile. I could easily walk over her if I wanted to. But why should I? A man doesn't show his strength just because he can exert it.
Right.
Why should I?
Yeah. Yeah. What are you willing to? How much control are you willing to give? I think too, relinquishing control too. When it notes it says relinquishing control can
be frustrating.
It can be frustrating. You know, I think Portia kind of gave that example when she was at the store that time, and so one of the things we do have to know too is, and moving on with the thing is, how do you want to be loved?
Ooh.
You know, being able to communicate to this somebody.
That's the thing
How
right there.
do you want to be loved? You know.
Single people don't know that.
Yeah.
The statistics show that most arguments come from being indecisive, from one person being indecisive. You can have an easy argument. Hey, baby, what you want to eat? I don't know. Well, let's go get some Kentucky. I don't want no Kentucky. But you just said you didn't know what you wanted.
Yeah.
When I say Kentucky, now you don't want that. So being indecisive comes from people that are typically afraid to exert themselves in certain situations. So just be decisive on what you want for you going into it.
Yeah. I think that's key too. You know, I think it goes back to also being self-aware too, to be able to communicate to somebody.
Right.
What does it look like to love Jashawn? You know, and then gives them the opportunity to decide that they have the capacity to do that too.
Absolutely.
You know, and say, yeah, I can't do that, or yeah, I think I can do that.
Right.
you
I can
know?
bend on this.
Right.
I can let go of this.
Right.
And still be a man behind it.
Right. And the thing is too, what makes one person feel loved is not the same way, you know.
Right.
And I remember one time me and Portia was talking one day, and she said that I just figured because I'm fixing your plate and I do whatever, you know, that ought to make you feel loved. Well, that may not be the way I feel loved. I may
Right.
just want you to come sit down and watch the Texans game with me.
Right.
That makes me feel.
Even though you're a Pittsburgh fan.
No, I'm a Texas fan.
No, I'm talking about her.
Oh no.
Even if you're a different friend.
Yeah.
Just watch the game with
Yeah,
her.
yeah.
Ain't she a Cowboys fan?
Absolutely.
Oh, God.
We would
I
not be
hope not.
married if Portia was a Cowboys fan.
I
I
hope
don't know
not.
why I thought
hope
that.
not.
Absolutely not. Nah, her dad is.
Okay.
Yeah, but
Okay.
absolutely not. You know, but it's one of those things that one of the things with her is I like words of affirmation. You sending me random text messages.
Right.
You telling me you thinking about me randomly. Telling me that I did a good job with something.
Right.
For me, I've communicated that to her because I'm self-aware enough to know that's what I liked in order to feel loved.
Right.
And so I've told her that, and it gives her something to work towards. Same thing for me. She's communicated to me, hey, this is what I feel like what makes me feel loved. Okay. That gives me something to work towards.
Right.
Because I care about you knowing how much I love you.
Right.
I care about you knowing that you are loved by me,
Right.
And so being able to do that is very key when you talk about love languages and stuff like that.
As I mentioned in the production meeting, I have a really close friend who was married. Unfortunately, they're divorced now.
Mm-hmm.
He kept buying purses, taking her on trips.
That's right.
Doing everything to show her that he loved her.
Mm-hmm.
But she said, I didn't ask for none of that. I didn't want that. I wanted your time. I wanted you to spend time with me. I wanted you to hold my hand. I wanted you to kiss me in public. Those are the things I wanted. He said, I'm buying $3,000 purses. I'm taking you on trips everywhere. She said, I didn't want that. I went because you bought it. I thought that's what you wanted, but I didn't want that. I wanted you to hold my hand in public.
Wow.
I wanted you to kiss me in public. I wanted you to take walks in the park. Stuff that was free, but you thought because your money could speak for you,
right.
That's what you did because you were used to that for someone else,
Yeah.
not for your current partner.
Yeah.
So you went into it loving her the way you thought she wanted to be loved. You never communicated to say, okay, what do you want? What do you want? How do I make you happy?
Yeah.
I'm used to doing this, but how do I make you happy?
So watch this. So you're a married man, right? How much do you believe that in one season you want to be loved this way? How much do you believe that sometimes that can change?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Because here's one thing for me. I keep saying illness because I've been struggling with that for a second. Here's my language again. I become a total asshole when I don't feel good.
Right.
So I had to tell her, baby, when I don't feel good, don't come saying, do you want this? Do you want that? Do you want no. No.
Yeah.
Let me make it. Let me make it.
Yeah.
I will open my mouth when I need something. I will say, baby, I need this. Just give me my space. Just give me a little second.
Yeah.
Let me deal with this. Because even now, with the recent transactions, sometimes I'm perfect, sometimes I'm not.
Yeah. Yeah. I've said those things too. One of the things when we first started dating was I told LaPortia, I know we got to call her.
The Porsche.
Yeah. That's probably Portia. But I told her, I said, hey, when I'm tired and I'm sleepy, I get very quiet. And
Right.
I don't say anything.
Right.
So I don't want you to take it as it's an attitude or something that you've done. I'll literally say, if you ask me, what's wrong with you? If I say I'm tired, just take it as that. It's not that I'm mad or got an attitude or anything like that. So now, if I get tired, she'll, you tired? I'm like, yeah. And she know I don't say anything.
And I'm good.
And I'm good. We got to call her. Let's take it.
Caller, talk to us. What's your name? What's your question or comment?
It's Portia.
Surprise.
Just stay on the line, man.
Well, I didn't want to tie the line up if somebody else was trying to call in.
Yeah.
I don't know how that works.
You can call as much as you want
I
to,
think-
babe.
Okay, Big Daddy.
Works for me.
I would like to know from a single man, Sean Wilburn.
Yes, ma'am.
What are you, as you hear these men talk and speak, for single, we don't get a lot of single men that chime in on our podcast that I know of.
Mm-hmm.
So as you hear them speak, what are you thinking to yourself as far as does it make you want to say, hey, I got to share my time. I got to share my Lubies. Mm-hmm. I'm sure you are an avid member at Lubies, just different things.
First of all, I won't be eating the Lubies no more. That's hopefully the expectation.
That part, because that's about cooking.
part.
Yeah. And I got the cookbook coming out.
And Mike got the cookbook coming out. It's a can of Plan and a Man.
Yeah.
But what it does for me, honestly, is confirms what I've already been thinking. Like we said when we first started the show, not everybody is marriage-minded. Not everybody wants to be married, and we're not trying to vilify anybody that's single that doesn't want to be married.
Right.
That's your choice. I desire to be married. I desire family. I desire all those things. I, as a matter of fact, really think it's long overdue. However, I recognize there are some things that I need to make sure I know about myself. I remember when I was dating my ex-fiance and things were blowing up behind closed doors, all that other kind of stuff. And my uncle said something to me that I did not even register, but it made me kind of draw back a little bit.
Right.
He's like, all right, nephew, ain't no more selfies. It's ussies now.
Yeah, right.
And it scared me. I'm not going to lie. It scared me for a hot second. But I needed that to really get my mindset to understand it's no more me,
Right,
as we were talking
right,
about
right,
earlier.
right.
It's going to be we.
Right.
You know, and so when I hear this, all it's doing is confirming what I've already thought and what I've already been preparing myself for and doing the work for. So, you know, it doesn't scare me, doesn't cause me to draw back. It just gives me encouragement to know that I'm kind of on the right track.
Yeah,
Good,
for sure.
good.
That's good.
Good.
Okay, and another question, you all are talking about, how do y'all feel about controlling women? Women can talk about men who make the money and they want to be controlling. We can talk about that all the time. But there are some women out there that are very controlling of men. Control, why are you speaking to this woman? And that may look like jealousy, but what do you think about that? Because that's something, we talk about red flags all the time, but what do you think about women that come into relationships wanting to be in control?
Y'all looking at me? Okay, I got it.
Well, go
so for a woman that is controlling, for me, just Mike. This is Michael Washington, because the other guy's name Mike. So Michael Washington. My thought process on a woman that's controlling is because she hasn't been loved right.
Yeah.
She hasn't been loved right, or she
thought about it.
or she hasn't allowed herself to be loved right because of past hurts. So
So she's controlling the narrative.
Yeah. So show her that you are not there to hurt. You're not there to take. You're not there to cause her pain. Show her that you're there to love her correctly, and she'll release some of that control. That's my thought process.
Oh, that's very good and positive.
Because I wouldn't have answered that way.
Yeah,
'Cause
I mean,
in dating, I'd have
Right.
chunked deuces.
I mean, you have there's certain things you deal with, certain things you won't.
Right.
I've encountered controlling women.
Right.
I've said, look, I don't know what yesterday was, but today I'm not that person.
Right.
I'm somebody different. I'm gonna love you for you.
Right. I think some of that too is again, you go back to why does that person respond the way it
Something had to happen.
something has happened in order for this woman to feel like I have to control everything
Because I'm not gonna get hurt again.
right. I think sometimes it's not having a father in the home,
Could be.
and not knowing what it looks like to be soft because they
Right.
were raised by a strong woman
Right.
who had to be mom and dad and didn't get a chance to really experience what it felt like to be loved by a man, to have the presence of a man in the home so that she can be soft, and not have to control everything,
Right.
So I think that's a factor as well, just lack of a father in the home.
You know what? I can't only speaking for myself again. When I was dating before I was married, you run into a lot of women who are manly, who are just
Masculine,
raw,
yes.
masculine.
Yeah.
And I get the notion of she had to be that way because she had to take care of the household herself, as you say, be mom and dad. But that doesn't mean you lose your softness.
Right.
You have to carry that weight.
Yeah.
That don't mean you have to be a dog. You can be a dog when you need to be. Just know that it's in there for you to be a dog, but you don't have to portray yourself as a dog.
I believe hyper-independence is the word that's there, and it becomes a thing when you've had to do stuff like that you weren't supposed to have to do.
Right.
And so you begin to control that narrative, and that's what that is. You actually just taught me something because I would have never responded that way.
Oh, okay.
Just in looking at it from a dating aspect, I would tolerate it for a minute, and the key word there is tolerate. And then after a while, because I'm gonna love you, I'm gonna because that's unfortunately my downfall. I try to love you through it,
Right.
but I don't know if I would be able to really handle that on a long-term
basis.
without it changing. That's a lot.
So I wrote a book a few years ago. I don't know if you remember it or not. I said, when loving you is killing me, I have to stop. I'm going to love you, but if it's killing me to love you, I shouldn't have to fight to love you.
Right.
I shouldn't have
Yeah.
to argue to love you.
Right.
Right.
Let me love you. I'm trying to do that.
Right.
But you got to take those guards down. You got to take those walls down.
Right.
To receive my love.
So how do you? So how would you? And Sean, you can chime in on this too. But how would you approach a woman who comes off a bit controlling? You're trying to court her to be married, and you see she's kind of got some controlling issues. How do you approach her? How do you love her through that?
Wait, hold up. I'm not him. My name is Mike. This is what I do. This is how I do it. I'm not your past. I'm trying to be your future.
Yeah.
I'm really trying to be your future. So you tell me how to love you. You tell me what you want done. You tell me, do you want your doors open? Do you want food cooked? You tell me what's going to make you calm down some and back up off me.
Right.
You know.
So let's just say you that dude though. You open doors. You a gentleman. You do all that. And the woman says, "I don't need you to open my door. I don't need you to wash my car. I don't need you to put no gas in my car. I don't need you to do none of that."
Okay, if that's what you want, I'm here to do those things for you, so you don't have to do it. My job is to make your job easier.
Right.
So I'm here to wash your car. I'm here to open your door. I'm here to put gas in your car. I'm here to do those things you fuss about. I saw on Facebook the other day, you said, not you, just giving an example. You said you had to cut that yard. I'm here to do that. I'm a man. I'm going to make sure, if I don't cut it, I'm going to pay somebody to do it. I'm going to take that weight off for you.
Right.
So my job is to make your life easier, not to add trouble to your life.
So do you think that, so a man like Sean, right? Let's just say he's that dude, which I know he is that dude, right? He's going to be a gentleman. Should he throw that woman away and be like, okay, since you won't let me do those things, then I'm done? And if not, if he's going to extend grace, how long does he extend grace for?
That's a good question.
See, everybody knows their limit. That's why people all the time say, girl, I wouldn't take that. But you don't know her limit. You don't know what she's willing to go through to get what she wants. So you have your limit. I'm that dude. I'm that dude. I'm Sean. I'm Sean. I'm that dude. I know I'm that dude. I'm trying to show you that I'm that dude.
Right.
Old Baptist Church used to say, I was to extend, yours to
to
accept
accept, yeah.
or reject.
That's it.
So I'm going to do my part. It's up to you.
Yeah.
Doors of the church are now
The
open.
doors of the church now. But hey, can I address something real quick?
Yeah, sure.
Can I address Miss P? We know who Miss P is.
Yes.
Good. Miss P is I am her or I am woman. I am woman.
I am woman.
I am woman. Miss P, I'd like for you to call in because I want to address this really quick. Love languages are important to know. Look at this. If you walk into Fiesta and you see people in the produce section, you know they're speaking Spanish. You know they're speaking Greek. You know they're speaking someone else. So I can know your love language, but if I can't speak your love language, it doesn't do any good.
We can't communicate.
I can't
Right.
communicate with you.
Yeah.
So just because I know your love language, which is words of affirmation, both of ours. But if you didn't know how to do words of affirmation, it does us no good.
Right.
So knowing the love language is one thing. Speaking the love language is something different.
That means you need to learn it.
You need to learn
You
it.
need to learn it. You got to be willing to want to learn it, though.
That's a
too.
lesson I learned.
Right.
Yeah.
With my ex-fiance. One of the things I came to understand is that I have become very good at being a boyfriend
Oh,
and did not know really how to be a husband.
Wow.
wow.
And
That's deep.
one of the things that I had to learn was that me not knowing her love language and knowing how to speak it made her feel unseen.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Okay. And so I had to learn that. I had to get over the fact that, that's not how I love. But that's
Right.
how she receives love.
Right.
Right.
So if I love her, I need to give her love the way she receives it.
Right.
And a lot of us want to force the way we love on other people. And
Yeah.
that's not
Right.
how that works.
Yeah, I think I've done that too, and I've made that mistake in doing that. How Portia just hung up. How I receive love, and naturally, how you receive love is what you're gonna give out the most,
Right.
Right.
And all that comes from your background.
Right. And so for me, words of affirmation. And so I would sometimes do that with Portia. Hey, girl, I love you, thinking about you, all the mushy stuff.
Right.
And that's not how she receives love. She's like, ugh,
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
tell me that. You know what I'm saying? It's cool, thank you, but
What,
you ain't
you
got to keep
bored or
saying.
something?
Right. You ain't got nothing better to do than
Right,
be texting
right.
me. I ain't,
Right,
I ain't
right.
even thinking about that right now. Why are you hitting me up with that? And not that she's being mean.
That's
That's just not
just-
how she
yeah.
receives love at the
Right.
top of her list. I think with the love languages, you got to speak some of it at some point.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You don't ever want to be to the point to where because their top love language ain't words of affirmation that you
Right.
never affirm
You
your
gotta speak
spouse.
all the language.
You got to be able to speak all of them. You know,
Right.
we got a caller.
It's LaPortia.
Caller, talk to us. Your name, what's your question or comment? Is it LaPortia again?
It is not. Hey, y'all. Hey, this is Miss P. This is
Miss
Paula.
P.
How y'all
Hey,
Hey,
Miss
Miss
P.
P.
What's going on?
Nothing too much. So I walked out the room and I came back and my daughter Essence told me to give you guys a call. I heard Mike speaking on love languages, and I do like what you said. But I mean, also, I believe it's important. And yes, you need to know how, he needs to know what to do, and he has to learn them and know exactly what, like, maybe words of affirmation is. And that's one of mine. But I have to say that my love languages have changed over the years.
They
Absolutely.
do.
Absolutely.
And I mean, even from season to season. So I believe that's still important to communicate with your partner. Baby, I really love words of affirmations, but right now I'm feeling such and such and such.
Right.
So he knows, and he's like, and I want him to be able to communicate that with me as well. If something changes, don't be afraid to say, Paula, this changed. Hey, life changes, we change,
Right.
and that's how we grow, through change. So, but I would like, I've already purchased, so I try to invest in my relationship, my future relationship, and my future husband.
Mhm.
So, of course, I've already read again for the second time, The Power of a Praying Wife.
Very
But
important.
Good book.
I start dating, I want me and my husband to go through that book at the same time. So let me read The Power of a Praying Wife again, and then let him read The Power of a Praying Husband. And let's have discussions. But not only those two books, but I already have my 5 love languages, so we can have like a study on it together.
Right.
And that's just me, and that's how I'm thinking ahead.
I think you should.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, because the person who fails to plan plans to fail.
Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
right.
So that's good that you do that beforehand, before you get the wife title.
Yes, and then so I usually go and purchase my books at Half Price Bookstore. So when I went, I purchased a few books, and because I wanted to give them out. So I want to sow into others as well. And then, of course, I'm going to reap later from sowing into them. So I did give away like a Power of a Praying Wife to a woman that's looking for a relationship and wants to get married. And then I did the same thing for the male version of the Power of a Praying Husband. But I found something that I don't remember. I remember the 5 love languages. So I do have that book, and I have a hardback that I'm going to give away as well. But I found the 5 love languages, how to express heartfelt commitment to your mate. And that's the one that I want to read with my mate or my future guy friend, my fiance, my husband, whatever, soon to be, because I'm claiming that, y'all. But that's the one that I would like to study with him.
Right. Right. So how would you gauge going into a relationship that he would even be open to reading that book?
Right.
The way I believe I will be able to gauge it is first through communication and me sharing some of those things with him and seeing how he responds to it. If he's like, I love languages. People talk about that all the time. I don't believe in any of that. Oh,
right.
Well, maybe let me talk to him a little bit more and see, what happens. But maybe he might not be the one if he doesn't believe in anything.
Hey, women have a way of convincing men to do anything. Women have
influence.
Women have a way of convincing a man to do anything. He don't even read books. After you work on him, he'll be writing books.
Hey, come on now. Come on.
So
Shundo.
Exactly.
Yeah, stand your ground on that. And then when you're looking for your mate, I mean, just in communication, do you like to read books? Do you care to do a podcast where you're just totally listening and not necessarily reading? What is your comfort zone? Because I'm a reader.
Right, exactly. And not only that, I can actually say, oh, I'm an author. Would you like to take a look at one of my books? And if he's like, oh, no, I don't read books. Well, I know right then and there, right?
Right. Totally understand.
Well, Miss P, we appreciate your call. Keep listening to us. We're gonna move on. We got to come in here. One of our listeners said this. Says, I tell men my dominant. I think that's what it says here. Let me put these.
I'll help you out.
Yeah.
I tell my men my dominant love language is gift giving, and it immediately turns men off. I hate that society has put so much negative emphasis on giving.
Right. So and I'll tell you this, Kenya, men oftentimes get that particular love language mixed up, just like women will get physical touch
Right.
misconstrued. Physical touch doesn't always mean sex. Just
Right.
like gift giving doesn't mean I need to be buying you a pair of red bottoms
Right.
every week.
Right.
It's the little small trinkets, little
Right.
small things. I became a very good gift giver because that was my mom's love language.
Right.
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 So
Okay.
and it
was what
wasn't
you
anything
familiar with.
expensive. If I just bought her a card that made her cry,
Right.
Right. Right.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it was understanding that that's not mine though, and even when I was learning the love languages, gifts is at the bottom of my list.
Right.
You ain't got to give me nothing.
Mine as well.
Right.
Okay, acts of service, words of affirmation, physical touch are my top 3.
Right.
Okay, so just in that, I had to learn gift giving.
Right.
Right.
I had to learn words of affirmation. The words of affirmation is not necessarily high on mine.
Right.
So I had to learn those things. And so with gift giving, the men that typically run from that usually are the men that don't understand what that means.
Right.
I think it's cool. I think the conversation has to be had too, though. Whenever you do tell somebody that your love language is gift giving, and say, well, what I mean by that is it don't have to be something expensive. 'Cause I
Right.
think a lot of men may run because now they think, oh, she's a gold digger.
Right. She'll go there.
Especially what's on social media right now with women saying, oh, you got to buy this for me, you got to do this for me, you got to
Right,
do
right,
this for
right.
me in order for me to, get with you. So men run from that. So I think that I'm just speaking to Miss Kenya here. I think in telling a man that, I think it's okay for you to go into a little bit of depth as it relates to the kind of gifts that you're talking about. Now, if you do tell a man the kind of gifts is red bottoms and Louis Vuittons,
Right, right.
yeah, you probably are going to scare a lot of guys
Right,
away because
especially if that's
that's
not
why
his-
it comes
his-
across.
Especially if that's not his budget for those
Right,
things.
right.
The other thing I think is very important to communicate. Miss Kenya, I'm sorry I don't know you. I'm just asking a question. Do you portray that you buy yourself those things? I already buy these gifts for me. So
I know her
think-
personally; she does.
Right, right. So I already buy red bottoms. So when you want to buy me a gift, you can buy me red bottoms, or you can give me a gift card, go half on with red bottoms or something.
Gotcha.
To whereas you're not just saying this is what I want, and make sure that your love language is not a demand on what you want to have.
That makes sense. Make sure you can get it on your own too.
Right.
Yeah, that's cool. I like that. I think that's what I'm saying. I think at some point you got to speak all of them at some point.
Right.
You know.
You got to be bilingual.
Yeah, you got to. Well, I like you, man.
You got to
gotta
be
bilingual.
You got to be bilingual.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah, I like that. So what's the next thing we got, guys?
Because we had a bunch.
We had a bunch. Learning your partner and creating space. We talked about creating space too.
Creating space is big to me.
Yeah, I think you can speak to that too from a male perspective. A lot of men suffer in silence,
Right.
because the space hasn't been created to be able to do that. So I would just,
Safe.
to be safe. And I
be
think that
safe.
if you're asking yourself as a woman, because that's very key for men because we internalize a lot of things.
Right.
Yes.
And so asking yourself, am I willing, in both sides, men and women, am I willing to create space for this person to communicate, to complain, to
Not
have
call him sassy.
concerns, and not call him sassy because he
Right.
say he don't like something.
Right.
Yeah, and I think you can kind of speak to that with
Before
especially
you
with
do, I'm
women.
gonna say this because I just want to say this to the women that are watching. Listen, just like y'all want protection and that's safety to you, men need safety too. It looks different. It's not the same as yours. Safety for you is we're going to, our shoulders are broad. We're able to make sure that nothing happens to you physically, and that we are nurturers of your feelings and your emotions. For a man, understand this with us. Number one, our ideas to us are like your emotions are to you. So when a man is wrestling with an idea, when a man is dealing with his thoughts, are you a safe place for him?
Right.
Okay. Here's the preacher in me now. I got my hand
Preach,
motions
Reverend.
going.
Preach, Reverend.
The thing that you have to understand. Watch this. Take a page out of Delilah's playbook. She got Samson to tell her all of his secrets because he had a safe place to lay in her lap.
Right.
Wow.
Okay.
Right.
It's the same thing. That's what men want. Okay.
Absolutely.
So I just want to throw that out there
Yeah.
so y'all can hear that. Mike, do your thing, man. What you got to that?
I forgot. No.
Yeah.
For me, anything we're dealing with, you said the word, the peace. For me, my space is peace. Sometimes because I talk to people all day dealing with work, I'm on the phone, I'm talking to clients, I'm negotiating contracts. When I say I need some space, just give me some space. If I go out to my patio to smoke a cigar, let me have that space. I'm not going to bug you. I'm not going to bother you. I don't need nothing. I'm good. If I do need something, I know how to call you.
Right.
Baby, I need this.
Right.
But give me my space. So very important to me. I used to say this when I was single. I'm going to say it again. I hope FCC don't mess with you, Sean. I had 3 Fs. Feed me, fuck me, and give me free time.
Yeah.
You good. You good.
Yeah.
You good. I don't care if it's a chicken. I was dating a girl once. I'll share this. I think you may have heard this story before. I was dating a girl once. She would come over to she had a key to my place. She would come to my place all the time. But I say, you come over here all the time. You don't cook nothing. You don't leave nothing on the stove.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm not your maid. It's like, whoa. Popeye's got two for $1.99. Go get it and put it in the microwave and tell me your food in the microwave.
Right. Yeah.
She said, I'm not your maid. That told me that you ain't the one.
Yeah.
You're not the one. You're not concerned about my well-being. It's not about the food being cooked. It's
Correct.
It's about my well-being. I know he's tired. I know when he comes in, because I'm flying a lot, when he comes in, he's going to need something to eat.
Right.
So I'm going to put this bought microwave or Wendy's or whatever in the microwave. So that's one worry he doesn't have to worry about. So it's not about the cooking aspect. It's the fact of, did you think of me?
Right.
Absolutely.
Do
Did you
you
think
think
of
of me?
Even when I'm dating, one of the things that I pay attention to, does she ask me what I ate?
Yeah.
Right.
Did you
Did
eat?
you eat today?
Yeah.
If she doesn't ask me, that lets me know already she don't like me like that. Because women are nurturing,
Right.
you know. And so one of the first things she's gonna wonder is, especially now in my condition,
Yeah.
you know, what did you eat? Did you eat anything? You know. So yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. That's good.
So I think that's very important that a woman creates a safe place for a man. Because if your man can't talk to you, he's going to talk to somebody else.
Wow.
He's got to get it out.
Yeah.
He's got to get it out at all times. So if he can't talk to you, he's going to talk to somebody.
Yeah.
And that somebody might not be his cousin. You may
Right.
not like the person he's going to talk to, but he's going to talk to somebody
Right.
to get what he's going through off his chest.
Right.
So make it a safe place where he can come to you and tell you anything, and don't hold it against him. Don't come back and say, you remember you said this when we was talking? And hold that against him, hang it over his head. Just let him speak. So like I said, in my household, we have a open and honest.
Yeah.
We just have those moments, just random open and honest.
Yeah.
I know she's finna say something that I did that she don't like.
Right.
In my mind, I'm already saying, okay, baby, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Then also listen to your spouse, male or female. Listen to your spouse. Listen with the fact of hearing them out, not the fact of responding.
Right.
You don't have to be defensive at all times.
Right.
You can just take something and say, okay. I talked about it today on Facebook. Can you take criticism without justifying why you did what you did?
That's deep.
And just saying, I'm wrong. I'm wrong.
That's accountability.
That's accountability. I'm wrong. I don't have to justify what I did. I'm wrong.
That's a bad word to some people.
Yeah. Yeah. Real talk. I think we were talking about in our production meeting. That's one of the things that even presently now that me and LaPortia are, because I mean, as cool as me and LaPortia are, we laugh and we both silly. I don't care. You're gonna have challenges that you have to work through.
Right.
You know, one of the things is we're both working on creating the space for the other to communicate. For me, my wife she's sweet, but she's prior military.
Okay.
You know, so she say what she mean what she say, and it may not come across the sweetest or whatever.
Right.
But it don't mean she don't love you.
Right.
I'm just telling you how it
It just
is.
is
Right.
what it is.
For me, I would be easily offended. You know what I'm saying?
Put some
because of
sugar
the
on
way,
that thing.
put some sugar on that thing. I don't mind you telling me.
Right.
Just put some sugar on it. And so I'm working with listening and not be offended, but vice versa with her, she's working on listening and not being defensive.
Right.
And like you're saying, okay, you didn't say it as well, I'm on the defense now, instead of saying, okay, this coming from a person that loves me and they want to see the best version of me.
Right.
And so we're both trying to work through creating that space. And sometimes it's not always easy, but it's getting easier because we both were like, okay, look, we know we love each other. It's coming from somebody who loves. So I do have to work on how I deliver that to you,
Right.
so that you can be able to. Ultimately, I want you to receive it. I don't want you to worry about
And
the way I
sometimes you have
said
to
it.
package it a different way.
Right. And, and sometimes I have to do that a different way. And so We currently work through that now, but that just goes to show you, even in marriage, it's a continual work.
Continuous.
It's a continuous work, man. You know what I mean? So I think that's good. Creating space is very big. And also, too, creating space for people to make mistakes. Because we're not perfect.
That's big.
Graceful space.
I need to give you the space to make a mistake.
Absolutely.
And not
That's
hang
good.
you on the cross for it.
Yeah.
Don't mean you just go do it willy-nilly.
Right.
Just saying, oh, I can do this. She can forgive me.
Right.
No, you respect the fact that she will give you space to make a mistake. Not that you do it on purpose. You know, I'm not going to go in the house and kick it. She's really neat. She's really clean. She's a clean freak. I'm not going to go in the house and trap mug all over the house saying, oh, she'll clean it.
Yeah.
That's not a safe place for her. That's misusing her kindness.
Yeah.
Because I know that's not the way to do it. I could have took my shoes off the door
Yeah.
rather than track mud all through the house.
Right.
You know.
I'll give you an analogy that I learned a long time ago. Somebody was like, you know, you should have a Walmart approach. You know, you think about it. You say like you wear a shirt or something, and you take it to Neiman's or whatever, and they say you tried it on, and he's like, man, it don't really fit right. You know, you didn't try it on until you got on. Don't fit right. You take it back, and they look at it and like, ugh. You didn't look like you didn't put this on, and you want to bring it back. What I mean, you must ain't got no money or something like that. And you'd be like, dang, you know, I can't even bring something back to you. You know, customer service, right?
Right.
Go to Walmart. Everybody knows you go to Walmart.
Don't
You
even
take
matter.
anything
All
back.
gotta do is go walk in there.
Just walk in there and say, hey, I need to, you know, go to customer service. I need to give this back. I need to return it. Okay, cool. Go get you another one.
Right.
It's okay. And so I think sometimes we need to have a customer service attitude as it relates to creating space. So it's okay for you to complain. It's okay for you to have a concern. And I'm here to listen and create space for you to do
Right.
and be. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
not feel like you're less of a man for doing that.
That part.
You know,
Yeah.
I'm a man because I can create that space for you.
Mm-hmm.
Not feel like I'm less than a man because I can do that.
Yeah. What are some of the ways a woman could make a man feel less of a man for complaining or having a concern?
I will, kind of even bring it back to that safe space, you know, and experience that I had. From 2011 to 2014, I lost everybody in my immediate family, like back to back to back to back. I bought my mother's grave plot thinking I was buying it for her and my future wife and kids, but I buried my every Sunday family in it
Wow.
by 2014. So I went through a depression. I was one of those black men that did not believe necessarily in therapy. Matter of fact, God forgive me, I used to make fun of Ron Artest when he used to brag about his therapist. If y'all don't know who
Right.
Ron Artest is, he's an old basketball player.
Right.
When he used to brag about his therapist on TV, you know, because, you know, we looked at that and means you crazy
Or weak.
or weak. So I believe this young lady that I dated, her whole purpose was to get me to therapy, okay? That's why I met her. We were just talking and got into a deep conversation, and she touched some places of my childhood hurt in that conversation, and I began to cry,
Wow.
okay?
Wow.
And at that point, it's almost like she just shut me down. Like, oh, no, don't do that.
Right.
You know, I can't stand to see a man do that, blah, 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 blah.
Right.
Right.
Well, now, I've become extremely vulnerable with you.
Because I let you see that.
And I let you see that. I let you see a wound because I thought I could trust you there. I thought it was a safe place.
Yes.
Okay? And now it wasn't. And now it becomes a thing now where you may not bring it up to my face that you don't respect me anymore, but how you treat me after that proves that.
proves that.
Yeah.
You know, speaking to what you just spoke of, Kenya just put something in the chat.
Yeah, I was just about to
And
read
I
that.
think that's very, very good. It says, one thing we don't talk about enough is that women shouldn't weaponize a man's vulnerability. You just spoke on that. She said, I was married for 20 years and I did not understand this. If, let's put if he opens up about his fears, insecurities, or past, don't save that information for the next argument. Emotional safety is what allows trust to grow. I know better now, so I do better. If a man opens up to you, don't save that and beat him up with it. Take that information in, internalize it, and let it go. Don't come back and say, I remember you was crying about this. You weak ass, you
Yeah.
crying. You just ruined him.
He'll never speak again.
He'll never speak to you again.
Yeah.
Not being vulnerable, he'll never share with you again.
Yeah. You didn't create the space anymore. You
But
closed
watch
it.
this. He's gonna share. He's gonna share it, maybe not with you.
Here's the thing, because women would do this because they naturally do it. Don't create the space and then not understand how to nurture the space.
That's deep.
Right.
Okay, because she created the space.
Right.
It wasn't that I'm just divulging stuff. We
Right.
sitting there having a deep conversation. She had created a space where I felt safe, felt like I could do that.
Right.
And as I went deeper with her, I began to, my emotions got involved with it, and she was like,
Hold up now.
So
Yeah.
that's something to think about.
Man, that's deep. Create the space, but can you nurture it? That's deep.
One thing I'm going to jump back to Kenya for a second. I like the fact that she put in there that she learned from her mistakes. We all grown. We're still going to make some mistakes.
Absolutely.
But if you got to learn from your mistakes in order to grow.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Just because you're grown don't mean you stop growing.
Right. Let me ask you a question. So this is your second marriage, or
Second.
okay, this is your second. If you're like me, this is my third marriage actually. There are some things. I'm going back to what Kenya was saying.
I didn't
things
even know that. I thought it was your second.
No, yeah, third, yeah, man. Whole nother show.
Yeah.
But no, there are some things. The husband that you see now, I didn't think some of these. I wasn't this way in previous marriages.
Mm-hmm.
This is the husband now. Is I've learned not to make certain mistakes again. You know what I mean? Tell me about some of the mistakes that you may have made in your first. Some of the things that you learned from, and the husband that we see right now. What are some of the things that you learned from previous?
Not giving up. It's not giving up because I always thought I'm Mike Washington. I ain't never had a problem getting a woman. I'm Mike Washington. I ain't got to put up this. What you're doing is that's not me. I ain't got to deal with it.
Right.
So I just give up
Right.
and go my own way.
Right.
I don't know if you remember, Sean. I said a long time ago. I was dumb. I was dumb. I went out with a woman who was a brick house, made a lot of money, had a good job.
Yeah.
We were at the dinner table. We got done eating. And she didn't pack my stuff to go. So I said, okay, that's it. I ain't never calling you no more. Because I'm used to people taking their plate, packing it up, boxing it up, putting it in the bag, taking it home. You stood there and waited for me to do it. I said, oh, you're not for me. And that was a dumb move. Who knows? That could have been my wife. But because I had some thoughts in my mind of, you should do this. Expectations.
Yeah.
Which were false expectations. I could have did it myself, like I did. But I had an expectation of her doing it for me. So I think I've learned the most of not giving up.
Yeah.
Not giving up.
That's good.
Working through things with somebody.
That's good. I'm going to address LaToya here. She said, please have me on as a guest in a couple of months. I'm the woman who typically agrees with a man's point of view. I love to chime in. Well, do me a favor. You don't have to wait for a couple of months.
Just
LaToya.
call in.
You can call in right now. The number is 832-975-1237. We love for you to chime in and call and have a good conversation with you. So feel free to do. That's for anybody, by the way. But go ahead,
LaToya,
Mike.
you got 7 minutes. Call us in. Call in and
You got a
work it
little
out.
bit.
Got a little bit more.
Yeah, you got a little bit more than that.
Okay.
Yeah. We got a little bit more than that, so we good. So definitely call in. But I would definitely say I learned some things. The man that you see today is a man that chose to self-reflect, to say, okay, where did I go wrong? Because it wasn't just always the other party.
Right.
I definitely played a part in that, and I wouldn't do that. I would encourage men that probably have been in our place, maybe divorced, and want to look for love again.
Right.
Self-evaluate and do the work to learn from what you went through the first time,
Right.
and not repeat the same thing.
Be real with you
Right.
and reflect on you.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't seek counseling, and I've sought therapy.
Mm-hmm.
I see a therapist now.
Yeah.
Just because you want to get those things out that you want to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
But don't overlook the fact that we all need help in some way.
Right.
Nobody gonna call you. I learned at an early age, do what you got to do.
Right.
I'm a boy from Maker's Home.
Same.
Grew up in the street. You from Maker's Home?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm from Maker's Home. I would tell my friends lies just to go to college. They thought I was catching the bus to my cousin's house because I had to go take care of my auntie every day because she was ailing.
Yeah.
She was ailing.
Yeah.
And I was going to college.
Right.
Be true to yourself before you can be true to anybody else.
Yeah.
So recognize, okay, I have an anger issue. Deal with it.
Right.
Okay, I have a hoeing issue. Deal with it. I have a whatever issue. Deal with it. by dealing with it, you make yourself better before you can make someone else better.
Mm-hmm.
But acknowledge the problems and deal with it simply.
Yeah.
Even when you go to therapy, two things I say about therapy: if you don't handle this, it won't work. Number one, if you're not real with yourself, you won't be real with the therapist, and
Right.
the therapist can't help you. Okay, that's number one.
Right.
Yeah.
If you come in there with mask on, you might as well not go.
Yeah.
Number two, when the therapist gives you tools, use them.
Use them.
You know, because that's the whole point. Yeah, I'm going to unpack, but at the same time, my therapist is going to give me some things that I need to do to deal with what I just unpacked.
Right.
So,
Right. The tools.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
Okay.
good. That's good. Let's see what we got next, y'all. We was kind of all over the place. What happens when things do change? And then also communication. I think we're kind of been on that vein of communication the whole time.
Right.
But I definitely would ask you, Sean. I mean, I know we're married, but even in your dating phase, right?
Mm-hmm.
What are some of the things that you've learned? I know some things about yourself. What are some of the other things that you are learning in this season that you, in dating in pursuit of marriage, what are some of the behaviors that you will not repeat, or some of the lessons that you've learned?
good question. So, with me, I haven't been married, but I've been engaged twice. You know?
Okay.
And in both situations, I won't always point the finger and say it was them.
Mm-hmm.
There are some things I did that contributed to that as well.
Right.
Okay. Of course, in the first one, if I'm honest, is being wise with my choice.
Yeah.
You know,
There you
as a pastor, I was letting people choose for me.
Right.
Okay. And
Right.
if I'm honest, the choice that I made was a rebellion against that.
Right. Right.
Okay. She was the exact opposite of what everybody wanted me to marry. Okay. That's number one. Being true to myself when it comes to that. Okay. So, as my mama used to say, not letting nobody pick no shade trees for you to sit under.
Right.
Okay. That's number one. Number two is the most important because it was probably the longest relationship of my adult life, which was my ex-fiance that we broke up in 2021. Learning to communicate better where I am.
Yeah.
We talked about that today.
Right.
You know, and I raised my hand when one of y'all said it. I am kind of gnarly when I'm sick.
Right.
When I'm not feeling well, I'm cranky.
Right. I am
Okay. And so needing to communicate that because unfortunately with her, she was with me while I'm going through critical illness. Okay. And so if you don't understand that about me, there are some good days and there are some bad
There's
days.
some bad days. I'm like Paul Jones.
Right. And I press my way through them. I muscle through them. But sometimes on those bad days, I'm cranky because I'm in pain.
Right.
Yeah.
Not nothing you did.
Nothing that you did at all. And I needed to be able to communicate that better. I need to be able to communicate, you know, on Saturday nights before I preach, I'll get real quiet
Right.
because I'm trying to hear.
Right. Right.
You know, I've gotten my notes together, but it may be still some stuff that he needs to speak to me.
That goes back to space.
Right. So creating that space, understanding that, and not being upset when I'm not my normal affectionate self.
Right.
You know, you come to sit by me, and I normally would cuddle with you, and this time I'm kind of not a little closed off. It's not because I don't want you or like you; it's because I'm just in a space.
Yeah.
And me not communicating that well, you know, put her in places a lot of times that made her feel not seen.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. I get that. I think that's key though too, to be able to know how to communicate that when you get in those spaces of, like you say, I need my space to whatever. Communicating that so the person doesn't feel pushed away. It's not that I don't want. Just let me explain it and be okay with explaining that. You know, you weren't on the show a couple of shows ago, but I'll give you the example. We were talking. I remember when me and LaPortia first got married. She was upset about something, and she was not used to expressing how she feels or telling somebody what she's thinking. And an incident happened, and we're riding in the car, and I'm like, hey, what's going on with you? Okay, your mood changed. And her response was, well, I got to tell you everything that I'm thinking, you know? And it's just like, then it made me feel like, well, dang, don't push me away because I care.
Right,
You know,
right.
I'm trying to show you that I see you and I see something's different. I notice something about you. Maybe it's something that I can do. Or if it's nothing that I can do, then cool. Let me know that. And I think, well, like you said, I'm getting ready to preach. I'm trying to hear. I'm trying to get my mind right. That's part of partnership too. When she says, okay, this is his time, I'm gonna let him have that. I partner in him. My piece in the partnership is giving him the space. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
Yeah, that's important, especially for a creative. If you're a creative and minister, such as myself, you need that space. You need that time to think, to reflect, to hear from God, to know what you're going to deliver to people. And I'm a creative. I'm always in front of people at all times, whether it's work, whether it's podcast, whether it's church, whether it's just, I'm always in front of people. So sometimes I just need that quiet time to myself. I don't want to talk. I don't want to have a conversation.
Right.
I don't want to hear what's going on in the reality shows.
Right.
I could care less what Portia do on the shows. I just want some time to myself. If time to myself means I'm just sitting in an open room, no TV, no lights, no nothing, that's my space.
Yeah.
Just give me my space.
Yeah. I think kind of goes back to also when you talk about are you a long time or are you a good time? Part of being a long time too is actually learning your spouse, you know, and learning that this is what they do. And from what I've learned, I'm going to learn how to operate with this, you know, with the information that I have, you know, that this person, when this person is doing this, because I'm a student of him or because I'm a student of her, this is how I respond. But that, again, it goes, all this is tying together into communication, into all these things, and, you know, seeing if we're going to be a long time. And so you got a lot of people out there that want to be a long time, but they don't know what it all entails. And I think this show was a great show to kind of talk about those things to determine that.
Let me. This is my final statement. I'll be quiet. Somebody needs to listen to John Taylor. John Taylor said, "Just because I raised a little saying, I might be quiet, baby, but try to understand.
Yeah,
you ain't did nothing wrong. I just needed my space. Just because I love you, I just need my space." Yeah. Check out John Taylor. Just because.
Johnny T.
Johnny T. That was my mama's favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. And it's been a great show, fellas.
Yeah.
You know, I told y'all were going to be in for a marathon tonight. I don't even think we used up all the 2 hours, but I think we used up all our subjects for the most part, which is great.
Yeah.
We had a real good deep dive tonight in this, and I hope you guys enjoyed it and got something out of it. I know a lot of y'all have commented. We have a couple of you that called. Portia, appreciate you tonight. You know, so, hey, man, any final statements before we leave?
Oh, man, great show. Glad to have you on the show, Mike, man. Appreciate you, man.
Mike, you're going to be
Glad
back.
to
I'm
be
just
here.
letting you know that already.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because you were supposed to be on in the first place. But,
Hey,
that's a whole nother
It
subject.
wasn't my fault.
Yeah.
I wasn't ignoring.
I had the wrong number.
Well, you had a number, but I just wouldn't use the number anymore. Yeah. So it was my fault. So I'll come back and share with you guys again.
Indeed.
I'd love to.
Indeed.
Love it, man.
I'll talk to you about it.
Yeah.
All right.
Cool.
Well, good people. We'll see y'all next time. And you guys enjoy your evening. Peace.
Good night, y'all.